Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Special Zone. Today, we're playing RLcraft 2.9 Hardcore Config Pack, version 2, by the way. This just released a few days ago. You can find the link to it officially on Shavaxi's Discord, so please feel free to go ahead and join his Discord, check the guy out. Has great stuff, makes great content, funny videos, all the good jazz. Alright, that's enough shilling for Shavaxi. The hardcore config makes a plethora of changes to the traditional RLcraft experience, all of which are designed to make the game much more challenging. One of the biggest changes that you'll find in the hardcore config is that your max number of hearts have been lowered from 3 hearts per body part to 2 hearts per body part. I forget the exact number, but I believe that means that you have around 1/3 less health than you would have by the end of the game. Thanks to potions of like health boost and stuff, that's not really that big a deal, but for the early game, this is a drastic hit to your survivability, so it just makes the early game a little more difficult. As well, all mini-bosses in the game, except Lycanite mini-bosses, are now going to spawn as rare or higher. As well, all of the final bosses in RLcraft will have a rare or higher modifier attached to them. This means that you can get a battle tower golem that is infernal, or a wither that has regeneration or lifesteal, making it very difficult to kill. The hardcore config is probably my favorite way to play RLcraft 2.8.2. So the fact that we now have a hardcore config for 2.9 really just makes me clap in that like a really happy, slow golf clap mode. Because I know it's going to be incredibly challenging and incredibly difficult. But as you'll see as the playthroughs and attempts go on, there are certain elements to the hardcore config that I actually really enjoy and that I think make the game more balanced. So it is my preferred way to play, at least in 2.8. We'll see how those changes affect 2.9, because 2.9 is already drastically more difficult than 2.8 was. Anywho, that's enough talk. Let's get into the world generation. We're just gonna name this Hardcore A1 for attempt 1. Of course, you have to set the difficulty to Hardcore. This means cheats will not be allowed, and bonus chests won't be allowed. You should also be setting the world to large biomes, as that is Shavaxi's recommendation. I'm not going to do a world seed. We'll just get a random world, mostly because we're going to be dying a lot, more likely than not. So we'll be going through multiple seeds. I am not sure how long this series will last. I want to do attempts until we at least reach one of the final bosses. Ideally, I want to beat the final bosses in this. So I'm really gonna have to like up my skill level and really flex my game knowledge if I'm gonna stand any chance against the absolute hell that RLcraft is about to throw at me. So, when we first spawn in, there are a number of things we need to consider immediately. Playing on hardcore is a completely different beast compared to playing on regular, because if you fuck up and you die, that's it. Game over. The world is deleted, or it's not necessarily deleted, but you cannot play on that world anymore. You only get one life. So you need to immediately assess your surroundings and try to figure out what you can use to your advantage. Okay, so we know that there are trees nearby. We know that we spawned in a desert. Our first priority is to collect stones and make sure there are no immediate threats around us, such as dragons or hostile Lycanite mobs. Or deathworms. That is another big threat that you have to consider. Desert spawns, in terms of vanilla RLcraft, are not that dangerous. Oh, that's huge, actually. That deathworm just got murdered. Deathworm armor is actually pretty solid armor early game. And it doesn't look like there's an alpha joust anywhere near here. So I might actually be able to go pick up that deathworm armor. That seems good. 9? I'll take that. I'll take a 9. That's at least a helmet. Ooh. Blazes can spawn from there? That's really interesting. I didn't know that. Okay. Downloading that information and saving it for later. Alright, so our biggest concern, first and foremost, is to find a village. 2.9, you basically live and breathe on villages that you find. So, until we get one, we are in a very tough situation. Because villages are going to be our main source of crafting. They're going to be our main source of EXP. And since one of the big changes in 2.9 in the hardcore config is that your experience points are halved, finding XP early on and finding a continuous source of it is your biggest concern. This is why villages are so ideal, is because villages can basically provide you with an infinite source of XP depending on where the village is and what skills you have equipped thanks to village trading. Okay, it's just a silence. One of the really harsh things about the hardcore config is that you spawn in a random... I think that's a deathworm. There's a village nearby. Okay. Anyway, what I was saying was, you'll spawn at a random time of the year in terms of temperature. So, that means that if you spawn in, say, a desert biome, you could be spawning in the desert in the middle of summer, or if you spawn in a winter biome, you could be spawning there in the middle of winter. It looks like we got incredibly lucky and got a desert biome in the middle of winter. If that is the case, then this is actually a survivable biome that we shouldn't have to worry too much about heat or cold for a little bit. Yeah, that's definitely a deathworm. If I can just navigate around these guys and get into this village, that would be pretty sweet. There's also a wizard tower nearby too. This is actually a pretty good village with those things considered. As long as there's no like dragon nearby, this is a solid spot to hang out. Okay. Those deathworms are going to be a problem because they can go underground. There is a dragon nearby. We just heard the wing flaps, but I don't know where exactly it is. Can you move? I need to get up higher so I can identify. There he is. Okay. So this, I take it back. This village is pointless. we're likely to just die. Okay, he didn't see us. Um, but that really sucks. We really need a village early on, and that dragon has pretty much claimed that village. We can't do anything about that. So we have to keep looking. Um, a lot of these attempts are, like I said before, pretty much going to live and breathe on whether or not we find a village. Rather, whether or not we can find a village that we can actually settle down into. Um, and that can be pretty difficult, as villages are not super common. They're fairly common. You're probably going to find a few in your travels and in your attempts. But these things just seem wrong. It feels like they're missing something. Can't quite finger on it. Oh well. As you can tell, some of the Lycanite creatures look a little different. I'm using the Lycanite Redux texture pack. Basically makes them all higher poly, gives them a little more detail. I don't know, I think it looks nice. Yeah, we're definitely in the middle of like winter. Hopefully, oh, I should have at least took the should have at least tried to take a crafting bench from there. At least that way I would have some tools I can. Because once nightfall hits, we're really gonna have some problems with how cold it's gonna get. We also need to find a shelter. How much time do I have? I'd say about 5 to 3 minutes, maybe, before the sun goes down. I think I want to start trying to kill some Yales. If I can. No, you have 18 health. It's too much. It's going to take too much time. Especially with how fast they are. One punch and it's going to start running away from me. It's not worth it. We really need to find a village. Or some kind of structure that's, that has a crafting table in it. Maybe one deeper into the forest. I am aware that you can do your starts with flint tools and whatnot, but I'm above that, man. Come on. Guys, we're professionals here. We play RLcraft for like 40 hours straight. We don't need to make flint tools. Come on. That's an insult. Be a man. Go out there and find a fucking structure. Get a crafting table. Make that shit the way God intended. With stone. Or wood. That alpha could pose a problem. I am not going to immediately quit. I'm not going to immediately quit if we find... or if nightfall comes, and we haven't found a village or anything like that, I would like to at least keep pushing until something actually kills us. At the same time, though, I'm not gonna, like, dig a hole underground and try to wait the night out. Number one, that would be really, really boring. And not worth the time. Like, dude, at that point, you're better off just resetting, man. I was hoping to get to try that structure, but these alpha jousts are kind of blocking the path. We're also low on water, which isn't good either. I'm aware that some creators have the tip where basically if you don't see a village in the first like 10 seconds of you running around, you should probably just go ahead and reset. Not bad advice, honestly, if you're doing a hardcore run. I don't know if I'll need this night vision, but at least I can see a little bit while we're walking around here at night. The desert is also one of the most dangerous places to be at night because a lot of really hostile, evil shit spawns at night. So we're really not in a good position. Period. Also, we're out of meat, so we cannot run. Anything that tries to get up in our asshole will. Oh. Things are bad at navigate. Oh, they went around. They went around the water. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So as you can see, you only get two options. You can spectate the world, in which you can fly around almost like you're in creative mode, look around, see all of the progress you did or did not make, or see just how far or close you were to salvation. And of course, you have the option to delete the world. Personally, if you make it far in an attempt, you should not delete the world. Because, you know, you have a little bit of a memory of your attempts. And I think that's cool. Alright, so we're on to attempt 2.